It is King Louis the 18th who once said that punctuality is the courtesy of a king and the gracious politeness of the princesses. I don't know, we want to, of course, begin at 10 o'clock looking at time which is running low on us. We want to just continue pace with where we are at, knowing that, yes, we have a beautiful day ahead of us with this first inaugural launch of the Sustainable Report by KenGen. Now, there is an old African proverb that says, we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. And this is where we want to, of course, predicate our whole program on, knowing that it's all sustainability. It's all about environmental, social, and governance aspect that everyone, especially the corporate sector, they are looking up to, right? This is a requirement. We have also the integrated reporting that encapsulates all this environment, social, and governance aspects as well. So I can see we're still chit-chatting outside. I want to welcome you back to the plenary so that we can begin. If you're still outside, kindly walk back in as we continue with the program. So as I was saying, yeah, we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. Whether or not those exact words can be traced to a single author, they capture one of the defining ideas of our generation. That true leadership is measured not only by what we build today, but by what we leave behind. And it is the former United Nations Secretary General Kofi Annan who once reminded us that sustainability development is the pathway to the future we want for all. Yet perhaps the more difficult question is this: how do we know we are truly walking that particular path? And the answer lies not merely in ambitious promises, but in transparent accountability. Because sustainability without measurement, they say, is aspiration. And measurement without transparency is simply data. But transparency with accountability, ladies and gentlemen, that is leadership. So sustainability reporting is no longer a corporate obligation tucked away in annual reports. It has become the language through which institutions tell the world how they create value, not only economically, but socially, environmentally, and ethically. It is where governance meets responsibility, where ambition meets evidence, and where today's decisions are tested against tomorrow's judgments. So, even as you settle down, I want to call upon the media team to just play us some of videos that will encapsulate what you're talking about today. Environment, social, and governance, sustainability, reporting. We've not really inherited this earth from our ancestors. We've borrowed it from our children. Media team.
As the world grapples with the escalating impact of climate change, the need for sustainable solutions has never been more urgent. Rising temperatures, shifting weather patterns, and increasing carbon dioxide levels threaten our planet's future.
Imagine a world where energy and nature are not at odds, but in harmony.
At the forefront of combating these global issues is KenGen, East Africa's largest green energy producer, producing 60% of all the energy in Kenya and powering 130 billion light bulbs in the country every hour. KenGen has over 1,600 megawatts of installed renewable energy capacity, enough to power millions of homes, with 826 megawatts in hydropower, 976 megawatts in geothermal power, and 26 megawatts in wind power.
Kenya has a geothermal potential of more than 10,000 megawatts. We have only harnessed about 1,000 megawatts.
Between 1985 and today, Here at Olkaria, we have an installed capacity.
It took 23 years to actually hack how geothermal wells and geothermal systems are, where we got in 1973 a self-discharging well.
Some of the technologies that have come up over the time, we have the RigSense that is giving us the real-time data to the supervisor and the driller, and will advise the processes to be taken and actions to be taken.
We have state-of-the-art equipment that are able to image in the order of kilometers, up to about 40, 50 kilometers deep into Earth's subsurface.
The power we generate here is per the grid code. We generate power of the right frequency, right voltage and current, such that the end user at the factory or even at home, the equipment that utilizes this power is within the set parameters.
By tapping into geothermal wind and hydropower, KenGen is cutting carbon emissions and ensuring affordable, clean energy for all, driving the nation's commitment to the UN's climate goals.
KenGen has a lot of hydropower generation in eastern region, Upper Tana and Lower Tana, but we are also looking at other regions in this country. From our strategy that is looking at the next 10 years, we are actually not going to put any power plant that is not green.
The desire to set up the Green Energy Park is to promote stable power that is available 24/7.
Alongside its green energy efforts, KenGen is actively engaged in community development in alignment with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Through the KenGen Foundation, the company has partnered with local organizations to conserve biodiversity, increase environmental awareness, and improve access to education for thousands of children across the country.
For the communities, we offer water points whereby they get their water for their domestic use and also for their animals. And we also offer seedlings so that they can plant the trees around the schools.
We also do some scholarship provision to the children of the communities. And even besides giving them scholarships, those ones who are successful, when job opportunities arise, we actually give those communities around where we work.
We do what we call environmental awareness in conjunction even with the Ministry of Interior, whereby when they have barasas, we come together and impart the knowledge on environmental conservation.
We work together with the communities. We have serious engagements that we carry out with them so that we walk the journey together. Our focus and our main interest is in the geothermal. What an opportunity to be able to have industries run their operations using 100% green energy. This green energy park is a trailblazer in this region.
Welcome to the KenGen Green Energy Park, where innovation meets sustainability. Spanning over 4,500 acres of pristine land, KenGen Green Energy Park is a masterclass of eco-friendly design and cutting-edge technology. Here, the latest advancement in geothermal comes together to create a thriving ecosystem that's efficient and sustainable. We are onboarding partners who believe in this ideology and doing business responsibly while preserving our planet. The Green Energy Park is powered by 100% geothermal power, an initiative that opens the possibility of going beyond achieving the zero carbon emissions mark to achieving what we call climate positivity and making that a reality. You cannot afford to be left out.
We are here today to support the President's initiative of planting 15 billion trees
by 2030. KenGen, we have walked the journey and we have endeavored to ensure that we meet our annual target of planting trees. This year, we have a target of 1.2 million seedlings to plant and grow. And today, we are very excited that we have attained the 1 millionth tree, which we have just planted today.
1 million! KenGen, we can do this. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
In KenGen, since we generate power, and one of our sources of power generation is water, trees conserve the environment and they also enable us to get adequate rains. And therefore, as KenGen, we get the water to drive our machines and generate power for the economy. And we want to believe that as we continue doing that across the country, our rivers will continue flowing and our dams for power generation will continue filling up, and we shall continue giving this economy the very important electricity energy that is required to boost our economy.
Jenga KenGen, Jenga KenGen.
I'm here today as the ambassador of the 15 billion tree growing, and I'm here to witness as KenGen marking the 1 million tree. And today it's so special because we are trying to bridge the word of 15 billion tree growing across the country, and KenGen has been at the forefront to make sure that we reach the target on time. You are using the green energy and you're supporting the green energy. That's what we want, and we love peace. Let's go KenGen, let's go 15 billion, let's achieve the target. Thank you so much.
As the world grapples with the escalating impact of climate change, the need for sustainable solutions has never been more urgent. Rising temperatures, shifting weather patterns, and increasing carbon dioxide levels threaten our planet's future.
Imagine a world where energy and nature are not at odds, but in harmony.
At the forefront of combating these global issues is KenGen, East Africa's largest green energy producer, producing 60% of all the energy in Kenya and powering 130 billion light bulbs in the country every hour. KenGen has over 1,600 megawatts of installed renewable energy capacity, enough to power millions of homes, with 826 megawatts in hydropower, 976 megawatts in geothermal power, and 26 megawatts in wind power.
Kenya has a geothermal potential of more than 10,000 megawatts. We have only harnessed about 1,000 megawatts.
Between 1985 and today, here at Olkaria, we have an installed capacity.
It took 23 years to actually hack how geothermal wells and geothermal systems are, where we got in 1973 a self-discharging well.
Some of the technologies that have come up over the time, we have the RigSense that is giving us the real-time data to the supervisor and the driller, and will advise the processes to be taken and actions to be taken.
We have state-of-the-art equipment that are able to image in the order of kilometers, up to about 40, 50 kilometers deep into Earth's subsurface.
The power we generate here is per the grid code. We generate power of the right frequency, right voltage and current, such that the end user at the factory or even at home, the equipment that utilizes this power is within the set parameters.
By tapping into geothermal wind and hydropower, KenGen is cutting carbon emissions and ensuring affordable, clean energy for all, driving the nation's commitment to the UN's climate goals.
KenGen has a lot of hydropower generation in eastern region, Upper Tana and Lower Tana, but we are also looking at other regions in this country. From our strategy that is looking at the next 10 years, we are actually not going to put any power plant that is not green.
The desire to set up the Green Energy Park is to promote stable power that is available 24/7.
Alongside its green energy efforts, KenGen is actively engaged in community development in alignment with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Through the KenGen Foundation, the company has partnered with local organizations to conserve biodiversity, increase environmental awareness, and improve access to education for thousands of children across the country.
For the communities, we offer water points whereby they get their water for their domestic use and also for their animals. And we also offer seedlings so that they can plant the trees around the schools.
We also do some scholarship provision to the children of the communities. And even besides giving them scholarships, those ones who are successful, when job opportunities arise, we actually give those communities around where we work.
We do what we call environmental awareness in conjunction even with the Ministry of Interior, whereby when they have barasas, we come together and impart the knowledge on environmental conservation.
We work together with the communities. We have serious engagements that we carry out with them so that we walk the journey together. Our focus and our main interest is in the geothermal. What an opportunity to be able to have industries run their operations using 100% green energy. This green energy park is a trailblazer in this region.
Welcome to the KenGen Green Energy Park, where innovation meets sustainability. Spanning over 4,500 acres of pristine land, KenGen Green Energy Park is a masterclass of eco-friendly design and cutting-edge technology. Here, the latest advancement in geothermal comes together to create a thriving ecosystem that's efficient and sustainable. We are onboarding partners who believe in this ideology and doing business responsibly while preserving our planet. The Green Energy Park is powered by 100% geothermal power, an initiative that opens the possibility of going beyond achieving the zero carbon emissions mark to achieving what we call climate positivity and making that a reality. You cannot afford to be left out.
world grapples with the escalating impact of climate change, the need for sustainable solutions has never been more urgent. Rising temperatures, shifting weather patterns, and increasing carbon dioxide levels threaten our planet's future.
Imagine a world where energy and nature are not at odds, but in harmony.
At the forefront of combating these global issues is KenGen, East Africa's largest green energy producer, producing 60% of all the energy in Kenya and powering 130 billion light bulbs in the country every hour. KenGen has over 1,600 megawatts of installed renewable energy capacity, enough to power millions of homes, with 826 megawatts in hydropower, 976 megawatts in geothermal power, and 26 megawatts in wind power.
Kenya has a geothermal potential of more than 10,000.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being amazingly patient, for also the delay that you've suffered. We want to say, yes, we are at any moment beginning the program. Our chief guest is already here. So I will kindly request our delegates who are outside to just walk in to the plenary so that we may also be in a position to welcome the chief guest for this auspicious occasion that, yes, we're observing today, the inaugural launch of a sustainability report. So if you're still outside chit-chatting or taking your breakfast, this will be an ample time for you, or a good time for you to walk back to the plenary. We continue apace with the program of the day. Thank you so much again. And I, as the MC, of course, I wanted to really know what is inside the launch of this particular report, and just getting intimately familiar with what we do have there. And I'll be just teasing out some of the highlights that we picked from this particular report. And one thing that stands out from this report is that KenGen is no longer simply generating electricity. It is generating confidence in a sustainable future. And when we speak about sustainable or sustainability, we sometimes think only about the environment. Yet, in this report, it reminds us that sustainability is equally about people, good governance, innovation, and creating long-term value. And I think every corporate sector is gravitating towards this. When we're talking about integrated reporting, that now it is required also, how are you making sure that you're giving back to the environment after, so to speak, extracting from the environment? That is not about just the baseline and the profits. It's about the people. It's about, of course, the profits, and it's about the environment at the end of the day. So it is encouraging to see that more than 90% of KenGen's installed capacity comes from renewable energy sources. This is not only an operational statistics, it speaks to Kenya's growing leadership in clean energy on the African continent. And behind every megawatt, and we heard from the video clip that we have the potential of generating 10,000 megawatts, but we've only just scratched the surface with only 1,000 megawatts now being realized. What is happening to the 9,000 megawatts? So behind every megawatt generated is a story of innovation, engineering excellence, and above all, a commitment to powering lives responsibly. The report demonstrates that sustainability is no longer a department within an organization. It has become a way of thinking across the entire business. And as we've seen also, KenGen's strategic pillars are built around 4 simple but powerful ideas: growing capacity, securing sustainable financing, diversifying revenue, and strengthening stakeholders' engagement. All this together, they present a roadmap, not just for business growth, but for development. Now, one particular impressive aspect is that growth is being pursued alongside environmental restoration, expanding energy generation, while restoring ecosystem reminds us that development and conservation can indeed go hand in hand. And this is where we predicate this particular event on. We'll be, in a moment, of course, having a handy opportunity of seeing our chief guest also given a chance to plant a tree, just memorizing or putting in memory, I should say, this particular event that we began here, that it is the first inaugural sustainable report. It's about the people, it's about the planet, and it's about the profit, the triple P, as they call it. Sustainability is often described as meeting today's needs without compromising tomorrow's opportunities. The initiatives highlighted in this report brings that principle to life. Now, another interesting takeaway is that resilience today is built through diversification, whether in energy sources, investment models, or new commercial opportunities. As you saw it from the video, the Green Energy Park initiative expanded geothermal consultancy services and investments in electricity mobility all suggest an institution preparing not only for today's market, but for tomorrow's economy. What is just happening also with the neighboring countries that KenGen has, made inroads in trying to make sure they're shoring up also their geothermal projects as well. The report also reminds us that sustainability begins with people. From employee wellness and safety to community investment, inclusion, and supply development, the human dimension remains central. The people, the planet, the profit. First come the people. When the local communities benefit from clean water, when young people receive educational support, and when procurement intentionally includes women, youth, and persons with disabilities, sustainability becomes something that people can actually experience. It is therefore not surprising that KenGen continues to receive recognition in areas such as governance, financial reporting, occupational safety, digital information, and sustainability reporting. One of the strongest messages emerging from also today's report that I managed to tease out is that sustainability is not measured by single achievement. It is measured through consistent progress across environmental stewardship, social inclusion, and governance excellence. So, as we continue with today's program, we are reminded that this report is not merely a reflection of the past financial year. It is also a statement about the future KenGen is working to build. Ultimately, sustainable energy is about much more than powering homes and industries. It is about powering economic opportunities, protecting natural resources, and improving the quality of life for present and future generations. So we look forward, of course, to giving you this report, and of course you will be able to plumb deeper into it and glean a lot of rich stream of information as far as sustainability is concerned at what KenGen is doing on that particular front. At this time, of course, just to prime you, we have our chief guest who is already in this location, and they're planting trees right now. Any moment from now, they will be walking into the plenary, and we'll continue apace with the program. So if you're still outside, kindly, let's occupy our seats so that we're not taken by surprise, and we continue going on with the program, since also we are running low on time. All right, let's be upstanding, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Let's allow our guests to settle down. Thank you. We may assume our seats. Our keynote speaker, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Environment and Climate Change, Engineer Festus Ngeno, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Energy, our host, Engineer Alex Washira, the Managing Director and the Chief Executive Officer of KenGen, Engineer Peter Njenga, members of the KenGen Board, senior government officials, our distinguished representatives from the Global Compact, I should say, Network Kenya, captains of industry, development partners, members of the media, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. It is my singular honor and privilege to, of course, extend a hearty welcome to all of you to this auspicious occasion, the inaugural launch of KenGen's Sustainability Report. And today's event is more than the unveiling of a publication. It is a declaration of purpose. It signals that leadership in the energy sector is no longer measured solely in megawatts generated, but equally in communities empowered, ecosystems protected, governance strengthened, and future secured. Over the course of this morning, we shall hear from distinguished leaders whose insights continue to shape Kenya's energy transition, sustainable development agenda, and environmental stewardship. We shall also witness the official unveiling of a report that chronicles Kenya's sustainability journey and its enduring commitment to creating shared value for present and future generations. We are indeed honored, I should say, by your presence, and we thank each and every one of you for setting aside time to be part of this historic occasion. With these few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, allow us to commence our program. And to begin, may I kindly request that we all rise and stand in ceremony for the national anthem. And then that will be followed by immediately by the East African anthem. And after which, we shall remain standing also for a word of prayer. Media team.
O God of all creation, praise thee for Lord and nation. Justice be our shield and defender. May we dwell in unity, peace and liberty. Plenty be found within our borders. Ee Mungu twaomba uilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Thank you. I'd like to call upon Judith to come and usher us into the presence of the Lord. Open with a word of prayer.
This is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. Let us honor the Lord in a word of prayer. Kind and loving Master, we come before you. We want to thank you for your love, for your mercy, and for your faithfulness. We want to thank you for the gift of life that you've honored each one of us today here, Lord. Thank you for your word. We thank you for your promises. We thank you for your forgiveness. As we gather today for the launch of the KenGen Sustainability Report launch, a milestone that has been in the making over the years, Heavenly Father, Lord, we want to commit this occasion unto your able hands, Heavenly Father, Lord. Guide us, the guidance, the power of the Holy Spirit from the beginning until the end, and lead us to live lives that are pleasing to you, Lord. Bless everyone present here today, and may this event bear fruit for our company, for our communities, for our nation at large, and of course for the future generations to come. Show us your mercy, show us your love, and guide us from the beginning till the end. We love you, we honor you, and we adore you. I pray all this believing and trusting in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Thank you. We may assume our seats. Thank you, Judith, for that prayer. Allow me now to call upon Agnes Maenya to just come on the podium as well to just brief us on matter security. We just get a security brief from her. A round of applause as she comes to the podium. Mpigieni makofi tafadhali mzuri.
It is actually a safety brief, come security. So we are at Karura Forest, which is one of the biggest forests within the cities in the world. And it covers an area of 1041 hectares. And it's currently being managed by KFS and Friends of Karura. One of the highlights about this forest is that it is remembered of the late Wangari Maathai, who really fought for this forest in the late 90s. And then the forest is a home to many species. It's a home to many animals, including antelopes. We have also birds, over 200 birds, and monkeys, and among many others. And none of this is carnivorous, so we have nothing to fear because, none of these animals is harmful to us. But then we are reminded that as we walk around the forest, as we walk around the areas, we maintain the tracks which have been designated. And these tracks are clearly marked. We have the junctions at the junctions at the different tracks are clearly marked, and also they have signages showing where we are. So in case we get lost, actually the forest, we've been allowed to take a walk after this event. We can all take a walk, and if we get lost, we can contact. We have those contacts strategically located at the different areas. So we have water that has been provided for drinking. We have the area for where we're taking our meals, and we're able to get water from that area. But even as we take the walks in the forest, we also have strategic points with purified water, and we are allowed to use that water for our drinking, but only with glass or any other bottle, but not plastic. This is a plastic-free zone, so kindly do not litter, if you have any plastic in your bags, then you cannot have this around this area, and we cannot use plastic bottles to get water. Also, we have, for our safety, we have our rangers, we have our scouts who are patrolling around this area, and in case of any issue, we are able to reach out to them, and even if we get lost, then they'll be able to locate us and guide us appropriately. Also, we have washrooms that are available, separate for male and female, on my right side. I'm sure some of us have been able to use. So kindly let us ensure that we use it properly, and definitely we have to maintain the area in a way that is, in a way that we leave it in a more sanitable way. Also, if we are not able to make visit today, if we're not able to walk around, the area is available for us Monday to Sunday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And also we are reminded that the gates today will close at 7. So even if we are going to take our walk, let's ensure we are outside the forest area by 7, because the gates close every day at 7 p.m. But then if we are to buy tickets any other day, we are able to get these tickets, and the tickets are bought up to 5:30 p.m. But still we are reminded that we need to be out by 7 p.m. I think that is it for the brief. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A good round of applause for her again. So at least we take relief in the fact that when we're leaving, none of us will be left in the belly of a lion, right? Since we don't have any carnivorous animal here. Thank you so much for that. At least also make sure you take your walk to every nook and cranny of this forest that we know it is so rich with fresh air as well. So that will be also good for your lungs today. Thank you. Just before we continue, and I invite the opening remarks, I just want us to stand it a bit so that we can try and refresh ourselves just briefly. Let's just be upstanding, just for a little activity to prime you for, of course, the opening remarks and the entire of the program as you're moving on. First of all, just lift your finger up. When you're talking about sustainability, we know we've just highlighted the thing to do with the people, the planet, and the profits. It is all where environmental, social, and governance is heading to. And sometimes it can look like everything is going every which way. This is the time I want to hark you back to your geography class if you took it. And I know most of the engineers here. All right, that was also a good subject for them. Lift it higher. Good. Close your eyes. It's all about trust. Don't look at me. I want you to tell me, and show me, demonstrate with your index finger, where is your true north? Can you point to where your true north is without opening your eye? And don't poke your neighbor's eye, because lift your finger higher. Where is your true north? Where is your true north? All right, don't put your hand down. Open your eyes. Look at your neighbor. Don't put your hand down. Ask your neighbor, are you sure that is your true north? Ask your neighbor, are you sure that is your true north? All right, don't put your hand. I know you're getting tired, but we're getting there. Are you sure that is your true north? All right, let's see. Let me consult my campus. Don't put your hand down yet. Don't change directions. Wherever you are pointing, continue to point that direction. But just standing where you are and looking at the campus, my true north is, let me see how many guys have gotten this. That direction. That direction. All right? So when we are locating the geothermal, place, that will be the location. All right? Okay. The last one. Put your index finger up. This is going to be very vital towards the end, of course, and the entire of this program. The president has been talking about the affordable housing, right? Right now, I want you also to house your neighbor's finger. Don't house yourself, right? So we have sort of a zigzag. Yeah, here they've gotten it right. Right. Is everyone housed right now? Make sure everyone is keeping warm. You know this place is numbingly cold. Is everyone housed? Good. Now, I want to see how attentive you're going to be. How nimble, how active, how engaging are you also going to be with this sustainability report that is being launched today? On my count, all right? Just 3. On a count of 3, make sure you grab your neighbor's finger. And you make sure you're not grabbed. All right. Are you ready? Right? Okay. Let's do a dummy run. On my count. 1, 2, 3. Grab my finger. Oh. Seriously, it was that easy? You can't be grabbed that easily. Yeah? Right. You need to be very swift and active. Okay, let's do it for the last time now. Are you ready? You almost grabbed it. You almost. All right, let's see. Are you ready? 1. Time to redeem yourself. Time to redeem yourself. 2. Grab the... Follow instructions. Follow instructions. Follow instructions. All right. Let's do it the last time. Please. Let me count, please. Don't be anxious. Are you ready? Good. 1. 2. 3. Grab the finger. Clap for yourselves, please. And make me welcome on the stage right now for the opening remarks by the Manager Sustainability, and this is Elizabeth Mwangi Gishao. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as she comes to the podium.
How are you, everyone? This is a great day as we have prayed and we thank God. Our distinguished guests, senior government representatives present, CEOs and Director Generals, development partners, and investors, regulators, KenGen Management and Board of Directors, those who are watching us from various corners of the world, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, what a great morning it is.
Move close. Yeah, that.
It's okay. Yes, this is a great morning, and it is great to see all of you here today. We are pleased to host you for our sustainability report launch. I would like to share a small story that was shared with us by Frank about a week ago, when he came back from a very far continent, and which he calls Maju. He reminded us that whatever we do in KenGen is world class. And I want to say that this was a true inspiration, that you reminded us that whatever we do is world class, and what we are doing today, which is reporting on our sustainability, which we are doing right here in Karura, is a full testament of your statement. So today we are all echoing the same words back to the world, that KenGen has pulled another first, and it is world class, which is the inaugural sustainability report for 2025. I want to thank Suleya for brilliantly harmonizing our launch today with such a scenic venue. We appreciate you. So, ladies and gentlemen, please indulge me for a moment as I walk us through our sustainability reporting journey. This report, as I can confirm, was built for the people on the other side of the switch. Therefore, I would like you to imagine someone, just anyone, who woke up this morning in Kenya. Maybe it's somebody or a mother in Naivasha who is boiling water for the rest of the house. It could be a student in Meru who is studying in the early hours before school. A small business owner in Kisumu who is powering up a machinery at the start of another working day. None of them are going to read this report. However, every single page of this report was written with them in mind, because that is what sustainability actually means at KenGen. It is not a compliance exercise, neither is it a communication strategy. It is acknowledgement, and a serious acknowledgement, documented and public acknowledgement that our operations shape landscapes. They influence livelihoods, they affect water resources, they create economic opportunities for millions of Kenyans who depend on the energy that we generate. And to every Kenyan who flips a switch and the lights come on, this report is an account of our responsibility that comes with that moment. It is our word which is made visible, it is made measurable, and it's also open to scrutiny. And so, what has this reporting journey of sustainability taught us about ourselves? I want to be honest about something, that when we began this process, I think many of us assumed that what we are doing is just gathering data, presenting data, drawing charts, targets, and putting together numbers. Fortunately, and to our advantage, we had our very own subject matter expert, one Dr. Jane Bogo, who had just acquired her PhD and gladly grabbed the opportunity to put into practice what she had just learned, and it was just fresh. She outdid herself and managed to bring us to where we are today, celebrating the launch of our sustainability report, which is celebrating our sustainability report today. Personally, I have learned and continue to learn a lot from her at every step of this sustainability reporting journey. Therefore, what we discovered was something much richer and much more humbling. We discovered that sustainability at its core is about looking back honestly and asking, what did we actually do? Not what did we plan to do, not what did we intend to do, but what did we do And what did it mean to the people that it touched? This question changed how we approached our reporting, and it also changed how we think about our work going forward. Let's talk about water, which is a basic right that should never be a luxury to anyone. I start with water because this is where sustainability becomes most personal, most human, and we all do agree that water is life. Thousands of households across Kenya still begin each day without reliable access to clean water. We know this because many of them live in the communities that surround our power stations. We see them, and we see it every day. It is so clear, we cannot unsee it. During this reporting period, KenGen supported more than 42,300 households with reliable access to water supply. 9 schools received 10,000 liter water storage tanks, and this is not just for daily use, but to harness rainwater during the rainy season, ultimately reducing the burden on communities when conditions are dry. When you ask what that looks like in real life, partly the answer is here. We are talking about a child who no longer walks for 2 kilometers before school to collect water. We are also talking about a school kitchen that is able to serve hot meals to the students every day. It is a household that directs the hours once spent on water collection toward work, study, and rest. 42,300 households, each one a family, each one a different life, was made a little more livable. This is not charity. It is accountability in action. It is what happens when a company decides that its obligation to the communities it operates is not optional, it is not seasonal, but it is a continuous commitment. Moving ahead to education, this happens to be the longest investment we will ever make. If water is where sustainability becomes immediate, education, on the other hand, is where it becomes more enduring. We believe, genuinely, deeply believe, that education is the great equalizer in Kenya, that Kenya has. That a child who has potential should not be determined by their postal code or their family's income, or whether a power station happens to be nearby. Talent is everywhere. Unfortunately, opportunity is not. Our job, therefore, it is to close that gap as much as and wherever we can. Through the KenGen Foundation, which is our corporate social investment arm, a total of 237 students received scholarship support during the year. 79 of them successfully transitioned to university level. We further invested 17 million Kenya shillings in education and skills development programs, with a further 5 million Kenya shillings in school infrastructure improvements. But here is what those numbers don't capture. We are talking about the first person in a family to go to the university, the student who almost gave up and did not because someone, somewhere, decided that their dream was worth funding. This is the engineer, the doctor, the teacher, the entrepreneur in the making, sitting in a lecture hall today because KenGen chose to invest in a future it will not fully live to see. Supporting education is not just generosity for KenGen, it is foresight. These students will shape the economy that all of us and our children will live in. This is an investment which is worth every shilling. Moving ahead and deep into our local economic development, and this is the prosperity that stays at home. KenGen operates 25 power stations across Kenya, from the geothermal fields of Naivasha to the eastern, western, and coastal regions, and the outskirts of Nairobi. Wherever we operate, we carry an economic footprint. The question is, and we have always asked ourselves, does that footprint lift the communities around us, or does it simply pass through them? Our answer this year is very clear. And 69% of our procurement expenditure was awarded to local suppliers, and this represents Kenya shillings 10.01 billion circulating within the local economy, not leaving the country, not enriching distant suppliers, staying here in Kenya, in the communities that host our operations. But the number that moves me most is not just the total. It is the breakdown, and this is the reason. Women-owned enterprises in our supply chain grew by 17%. Youth-owned enterprises grew by 13%. Enterprises owned by persons with disabilities grew by 11%. Inclusion is, therefore, not a quota. It is a recognition that the people most often left out of economic opportunities are also the ones with the most to contribute, if only one opens or someone opens that door for them. At KenGen, we are opening that door, and we intend to keep it open. To us, what is the bigger picture? Sustainability is not just a division or a department, it is direction. As I lead the sustainability division at KenGen, I'm proud and happy and pleased of what the team has built over time. But I also want to be clear about something. Sustainability at KenGen is not what the sustainability manager does, but it is what the whole company does. Otherwise, it will be nothing at all. Sustainability lives in the drilling teams that choose to reuse 268 cubic meters of geothermal fluids rather than dispose them off. It lives in the procurement teams that give preference to small local suppliers over and above a cheaper international alternative. Sustainability also lives in the tree planting crew that goes beyond a target of 830,000 seedlings and reaches 887, 220, not because they were told to, but because they understood why it mattered. Sustainability is also most powerful when it stops becoming a policy and it becomes a habit. When it stops being a department and becomes a direction for all of us. That is where KenGen is heading. And this report, which is our first, but also very far from the last, marks the beginning of that journey on record. And as KenGen, what promise do we intend to keep? As I conclude, I want to speak directly to the communities that surround our stations, to the families at Olkaria, Kidaruma, Gitaro, Tana River, and Kipevu, and to every community that lives alongside KenGen's operations. And sometimes they have to bear with the inconveniences that come with being a neighbor of large development projects and also with large infrastructure. this report is for you. It is our formal public commitment that your well-being is not just an oversight, it is not an afterthought in our planning, but indeed it is a central part of it. It is our invitation that you hold us accountable when we fall short, because sometimes we can. To their sustainability team and our colleagues across KenGen, the ones whose daily work make every figure in this report possible, thank you. You did not just do your jobs. You built something that will outlast us all. To my predecessor, the late Mr. Joshua Were, I wish to posthumously credit you for laying the foundation to this journey. May your soul rest in eternal peace. To your family, for honoring our invitation to celebrate with us today and witness the work that you started, we are truly grateful. And to our General Manager, Commercial Services, Engineer Rono Kibet, for your inspiring leadership, motivation, and unwavering support throughout this journey. The numerous times that you went out of your way to ensure that we deliver a credible report to the world, to the board, and to the entire nation, we are truly thankful. Our designer, whose magnificent and creativity and imagination that have given life and amplified the words that we have put in the report, we recognize your great effort. To every partner, regulator, investor, and guest here today, or those who are watching us live from far, we sincerely grateful that you came into our space. Your presence, physical or virtual, signals that sustainability is indeed a shared agenda. And that is exactly what it needs to be. To all of us who have made this great day a reality, we are thankful. The rights are on across Kenya. Let us make sure that they stay on and that the lives behind them keep getting better. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, don't be in a tearing rush. A round of applause for her. If you may just come back on the podium. And of course, all our guests who are here, we'll have a handy opportunity to, of course, sign the pledge to sustainability. And I wanted just to give you this a handy opportunity to do that as well, Elizabeth. So I'll have you just walk to that particular board, right? And I know also our camera persons are standing in on hand there so that we may just get that particular gesture that she's committing herself. She's pledging to sustainability. And she's spoken quite movingly on a raft of issues, right? Even as she continues to do that. When we're talking about potable water, we have 43,000 households right now accessing potable water. We have 9 schools receiving water tanks. This is 10,000 liters water tanks. We have 237 scholarships. 79% university transition rates, right? I mean, when we're talking about people on the other side of the switch, this is it. This is it. And that stands for the people, right? Where we have the 3 Ps, the people, the planet, and the profit. Mpigeni makofi tafadhali. So the question is, a searing one is, right? What is the impression of your footprint? As you pass by, are you living and lifting a community or you're just passing by? What is the impression of your footprint? Ask your neighbor, what is the impression of your footprint? I can't hear you. What is the impression of your footprint? Right? Go and lift them higher and higher. Thank you so much. Let's continue our pace, and right now I'll want to welcome remarks from the General Manager, Commercial Services. This is Engineer Kibet Rono, to come and of course also give us an insight deeper on today's sustainability report. But ladies and gentlemen, before we even yield the mic to Engineer, I will kindly request all of us to stand up. And that is what Elizabeth highlighted about. You know, this journey, the germinal idea, began with one gentleman called Joshua Were. And today, he's not here to see the fruit of that germinal idea that he had. I'll want us in a moment, just a minute, we close our eyes in silence in honor of Joshua. Yes, indeed. And we honor him for that good salutary effort that it put forward to see the germination and the flourishing and blossoming of his sustainability report. Thank you very much. You may assume your seats. A round of applause again for Engineer Kibet.
Honorable Principal Secretary, Dr. Engineer Festus Ngeno, Honorable Principal Secretary in absentia, Alex Washira, represented by Engineer Isaac Kiva, members of our board, represented by Director Bill Rahedi, our MD and CEO, Engineer Peter Njenga, general managers present, fellow colleagues, distinguished guests, partners, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Some say sustainability is about protecting trees. I believe sustainability is about protecting tomorrow. It is about ensuring that the generations yet unborn inherit rivers that still flow, forests that still breathe, and an economy that continues to prosper. All because we chose stewardship over convenience. Today marks a defining milestone in KenGen's journey. Yes, our sustainability report is a publication, and yes, it serves as an ESG disclosure. But in KenGen, we see it differently. We see it as a statement of purpose. It affirms that sustainable energy is not just measured by the number of megawatts produced, but in the lives transformed. Not in the number of electrons transmitted, but in the opportunities created. It is about generating hope, generating prosperity, and ultimately generating tomorrow. Because the greatest energy we can ever produce is hope. And when the greatest legacy we can leave is tomorrow being more prosperous, being more inclusive, being more sustainable than today. There's a timeless lesson about an African acacia tree, that it spends most years growing its roots long before it commands the skyline. And because its foundation runs so deep, it can withstand whatever storm that uproot even much larger trees. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the essence of sustainability. It is the discipline of building roots way before celebrating branches. But perhaps what really inspires me most is not what we produced, but how we produced it. When we embarked on preparing KenGen's inaugural sustainability report, we made a deliberate decision. And at this point, allow me to sincerely thank our MD and CEO, because he believed in us in an idea that sounded totally off. We chose not to hire a consultant, but to do it ourselves. And the leadership in him is what inspired this journey. MD, thank you for believing in us. Instead of outsourcing our story, we entrusted 15 ESG champions from all across the company. And they volunteered because it was not part of their job. But they believed that there was no one better placed and no one could be more passionate about telling KenGen's sustainability story than them. And every single day, they did their work, and above all, they contributed to developing this report. Our chief guest, may I kindly invite us to really applaud those 15 ESG champions who put this together. Ladies and gentlemen, reports don't write themselves. They say culture writes reports, but the real thing is that people write culture. And that's the spirit of ownership that cannot be procured. It cannot be outsourced. It can only be cultivated. And it reminds us that sustainability is not a responsibility of one department. It is a culture of an institution. Our roots are becoming stronger. Our chief guest, this report confirms that 95% of the electricity dispatched by KenGen was purely from renewable energy sources, while maintaining the region's lowest carbon footprint and embedding sustainability in every aspect of our business operations. Our environmental journey continues to gather momentum. As mentioned earlier, during the year 2024-2025, we had a target to do 830,000 trees. This very team, under the leadership of our MD and CEO and our board, we managed to deliver 887,220 trees, all by the efforts of KenGen. And our story did not stop there. This year, we set up an even greater target. We targeted 1,021,000 trees, not planting, but growing. And I'm happy to report that 2 months ahead of target, our chief guest, we delivered 1,021,000 trees. That achievement confirms that whenever purpose meets commitment, targets cease to be deadlines. They become milestones. Every tree we planted is a silent investment in Kenya's future. It strengthens our water towers, protects our biodiversity, captures our carbon, secures our hydropower catchment areas, and quietly reminds future generations that someone cared way before they came into being. And that is what they will enjoy at that time. Barack Obama would not have put it better. He captured that we are perhaps the only generation to feel the impact of climate change, and possibly the last generation that can do something about it. And that's why this report matters to us. It demonstrates that KenGen has chosen action over rhetoric, stewardship over symbolism, and leadership over complexity. To our board directors, to our managing director, to our management, to our 15 ESG champion, to every member of staff and all partners, thank you for proving that sustainability is no longer just an obligation, but our competitive advantage as an organization. Let's continue proving that the strongest institutions in our time are not those that simply extract value from nature, but those that create value with nature. Because when history finally tells Kenya's energy story, may it also say that KenGen did not simply power the nations. KenGen protected the nation while powering it. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless Kenya.
Thank you for that cogent, well-articulated remarks from Engineer Kibet. Really appreciate it. I've just managed to also pick some of the salient points that he's mentioned, very illuminating. Just as we know it, there's an African proverb that says, we are not of course, inheriting our earth from our ancestors, but we are borrowing it from our children. And we also want to thank you for the good gesture that is coming from the organization when you say that we're investing, to what tomorrow holds for this particular country. A round of applause again for him. And we want to give you that handy opportunity again to walk over there and pledge all that you've said. Can you commit it now to pen, as your pen, your signature there? Sustainability is about tomorrow. Discipline of building roots way before we can see the flourishing and the blossoming of the fruits. When we talk about 1,000, that is 1,021,000 trees. Just as Kibet has said, it's a silent investment in Kenya's future. So there he is, appending his signature. And we'll hold him accountable when he deviates from what he's done today. Thank you. Mpigeni makofi tafadhali. Right now, I want just to also yield the mic to the general manager. That is, I was supposed to just give Kibet that opportunity, but let me just grab it so that I can get to invite the executive director, Global Compact Network Kenya. This is Judy Njino, to come to the podium and also broaden our understanding and our scope all about sustainability report. A round of applause as she comes to the podium.
Our chief guest, Dr. Engineer Festus Ngeno, PS State Department for Environment and Climate Change, Mr. Alex Washira, PS Department for Energy in absentia, represented by Engineer Kiva, KenGen board members present, Engineer Peter Njenga, Managing Director and CEO KenGen, to your leadership team, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm but cold good morning. So it's a privilege to join you at the launch of KenGen's inaugural sustainability report. This is a milestone that marks the beginning of a far more comprehensive conversation about how Kenya's foremost energy company creates value, not just for the shareholders, but for the communities, for the ecosystem, and for the country at large. On behalf of the UN Global Compact Network Kenya and the wider UN Global Compact ecosystem, I extend our warmest congratulations to KenGen's leadership, the sustainability team, the 15 champions, and everyone who contributed to bringing this report to life. Now, our relationship at the UN Global Compact with KenGen dates way back to 2019. From the very beginning, KenGen took the commitment to responsible and ethical business conduct very seriously. Year after year, KenGen has submitted its Communication on Progress report, which is our annual public disclosure that demonstrates how companies in the UN Global Compact live out their commitments to our 10 principles on responsible business conduct. These 10 principles embody issues touching on business respect for human rights, labor rights, advancing environmental stewardship, and working collectively to fight corruption. And these principles have been embedded firmly into KenGen's operations, strategy, and governance, and that's where we are here today to affirm and to acknowledge the work that has been done. Now, this consistency matters. Many companies we know all over the world commit to sustainability and go quiet. KenGen has not. That sustained engagement through changing leadership, evolving priorities, and a demanding operating environment speaks to governance maturity and an institutional conviction that transparency and accountability are not optional. They are fundamental to what it means to be a responsible business. So today's launch is therefore not a departure from that journey. It's an evolution in disclosure maturity, building on years of reporting experience to offer stakeholders a richer, more integrated view of KenGen sustainability impacts, risks, as well as opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, you all know we are living in a moment when expectations on businesses, particularly large state-owned enterprises, have shifted dramatically. Environment, social governance disclosures, climate reporting, sustainable finance requirements are no longer niche concerns. They are shaping today the way capital is accessed, procurement eligibility, investor confidence, and regulatory compliance globally. As one of Kenya's leading state-owned enterprises, and of course the country's leading power generator, KenGen is demonstrating that public institutions can and must lead on transparency. KenGen is not waiting to be required to disclose, it is choosing to. For many public institutions and state-owned enterprises across Kenya and the region watching this space, KenGen is setting the pace and a standard. That matters as much as the report itself. Now, it is impossible to tell KenGen's sustainability story without telling Kenya's clean energy story. And you've heard already, with an installed capacity of approximately 1,726 megawatts, over 86% drawn from renewable sources, geothermal, hydro, and wind, Kenya has been the backbone of Kenya's electricity system for decades. Kenya today sources over 90% of its electricity from renewables, ranking among the top clean energy economies in Africa and indeed the world. KenGen has been central to making that possible and of course carries the energy story for not just Kenya but Africa as a whole on the global stage. We've heard through its Good to Great 2034 strategy, KenGen has committed to adding a further 1,500 megawatts of clean energy capacity over the next decade, driven by geothermal expansion, hydro rehabilitation, and the scaling of wind and solar. This is not just energy growth, it is climate action at scale, at the scale the world demands, directly supporting Kenya's nationally determined contributions and its ambitions for 100% renewable electricity. Now, beyond generation, this report rightly showcases KenGen's contribution to biodiversity conservation, water stewardship, community development, and local economic empowerment. These are dimensions of sustainability that often go unrecognized because we tend to hear a lot of the stories focusing on the E, the environment side of things. But of course, we know the social, the governance are equally essential to KenGen's social license to operate, and of course, its long-term resilience. As we dash forward to the 2030 agenda to deliver on the Sustainable Development Promise, KenGen sustainability work maps directly to the global goals that matter most. At its core, on SDG 7, on affordable and clean energy, KenGen is already contributing greatly to the global renewable energy story. And this is what KenGen does every day, but the linkages run deeper than that. Every time KenGen generates clean power, it displaces thermal alternatives and advances SDG 13 on climate action. As a major employer and an anchor of local economic activity, and we've heard, of course, the depth of how you're, of course, advancing economic opportunities through your procurement, KenGen is contributing to decent work and economic growth. And through active stewardship of ecologically sensitive areas, the company is also contributing to SDG 15 on life on land. Finally, none of this is possible in isolation. And the partnerships with the UN Global Compact and other organizations in the room, you're of course contributing to SDG 15 and of course collaborating with the global community to ensure that we are unlocking partnerships at scale that will deliver us the world that we want by 2030. This breadth of alignment is not accidental. It reflects a company that understands sustainability in its fullest sense: economic, social, environmental, and I might add also governance, and is also willing to be held accountable against all four dimensions. So at the UN Global Compact, we work daily with companies such as KenGen across sectors to turn sustainability commitments into credible, measurable action. And we have seen what happens when companies engage seriously and take this commitment seriously, with reporting and what happens when they do not. And sustainability reporting, as we all know, is not merely a compliance requirement. When done well, it is a strategic tool that identifies risks, builds stakeholder trust, attracts long-term investments, improves operational performance, and anchors accountability within an institution. And it is a learning process. It's a learning journey for the teams that are involved, because it allows you to have that introspection of where the risks lie, where the opportunities are, to, of course, advance your contribution as a force for good in society. And so at the Global Compact Network Kenya, it's been our proud and our pride delight to work with KenGen in this journey since 2019. And we look forward to deepening our partnership as KenGen's sustainability ambition continues to grow. Later this year, we will be, of course, attending the UN General Assembly Week. And together with, of course, the UN Secretary General, we're inviting you, Bwana MD, to join the global leaders in, of course, discussing and advancing actions towards how we can close the gap on the climate crisis. So you do have a front row seat together with global business leaders, carrying not only the Kenyan story, but the African story of what we can do to collectively turn the tide on the climate crisis. So we look forward to seeing you in New York in September, but an official invitation will be coming your way if it hasn't already. Sustainability reporting, ladies and gentlemen, as I close, is not the destination. It is evidence that the journey is well underway and that the commitment to keep going honestly and transparently is there, even when it is difficult. And so this inaugural report is evidence. It is publication, tells us that the work has been done, but much more still needs to be delivered. And the publication that is going to be unveiled today is a gift, not just to the investors that might be in the room, the regulators, but to every Kenyan who depends on clean energy, affordable, reliable energy, and to every institution watching to see whether transparency is possible at the scale that we are seeing in the public sector. So I thank you all for your attention, and we look forward to collaborating and supporting KenGen to deepen its sustainability journey, as well as commitments, and helping us, of course, grow our economies and our industries in a sustainable and clean pathway. I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for her. Don't be in a tearing rush again, so that we also give you this opportunity to append your signature. And they always say you cannot whistle a symphony. It takes a whole orchestra to play a symphony. And we want to say and express our thanks to you and the Global Impact Network, working hand in hand with KenGen in making sure that the journey as well, as far as realizing the SDGs is concerned, SDG 15, and amongst also a number of them that we have in the 17. So we want to thank you so much, and a round of applause for her again, that are making sure that KenGen also, they're reaching out with the credible action, that they're keeping them on toes as well. She's spoke on a raft of issues, which reminds me as well that in May 2023, we had the African business also highlighting KenGen and talking about geothermal power in Africa. And this is what they said, right? Indeed, Kenya first started. You're done? That was quick. Oh, that was with a quick signature. All right. Thank you very much again. A round of applause for Judy. This is what it said. It says, indeed, Kenya first started to explore its geothermal potential as far back as 1950s. But the sector only really took off from the late 1990s onwards, as the country looked for a way to combat electricity supply problems stemming from an over-reliance on hydropower. Kenya now has the 8th largest geothermal production capacity in the world. 8th. This is on in 2023. I don't know if we've moved a notch higher or lower, right? So I'm going with this particular report. You can advise us and tell us where we are at. But guys, at 8th in the world, Iceland being the topmost, we need to give ourselves a round of applause. A heavy one for that matter. So, your work is being acknowledged. In the meantime, as we continue our pace, before I welcome now the Managing Director and the CEO, allow me to just acknowledge our guests who are here. We have Dr. Engineer Festus Ngeno, of course, PS Environmental and Climate Change. We have heard from Judy Gino, Executive Director, Global Compact Network Kenya. In a few moments as well, we'll be having Michael Kagika representing now, that is the PS National Treasury in its entirety. We'll be also hearing from Engineer Isaac Kiva, representing PS State Department for Energy. Ben Lang, MD, Kyoto Networks, Africa. Joanna Yuma, Commercial Manager, Energy Services, East Africa, WTS Energy. Hilary Kibiwot, Ambassador, Kenya's Billion Tree Growing Campaign. And Andrew Savoy. I hope I got it right? That is Andrew Savoy, CEO, Munja Group, Sustainability and Renewable Energy Enterprise. Kindly just appreciate, yes, this wonderful, wonderful guest that are amongst us this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, I present to you with considerable pleasure the Managing Director and the CEO of KenGen, Engineer Peter, to come and of course also and give his remarks. Tafadhali mpigeni makofi mzuri. Peter Washira, thank you so much and good to see you. So I always see the soft copy of you on TV and on papers. Now today I get the handy opportunity again to shake the hard copy. This is the hard copy. Over to you.
Thank you. I wanted to correct some statement before I make my remarks. We in Kenya, we are actually number 7. And in a short while, because we are in the process of commissioning one of our geothermal power generating station in Olkaria, we shall be number 6.
Want to see, I just read from that report and I said, you'll correct me.
Yeah.
I stand guided. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Principal Secretary, State Department for Environment, Climate Change, Dr. Engineer Festus Ngeno. Principal Secretary, State Department for Energy, Mr. Alex Washira, represented by my classmate at the university, Engineer Kiva. Maybe most of you don't know that. We have a representative from National Treasury, I've just heard. I don't know whether he has arrived. Mr. Michael Kagika. Our board member, Mr. William Rahedi. Government representatives who are here. Leaders from the energy sector. Development partners. Global Compact Executive Director, Judy Gino. Members of the diplomatic community, Team Jenga KenGen. Team Jenga KenGen. You should be clapping. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and a very warm welcome to each one of you. It is my genuine pleasure to stand here in this remarkable setting to launch KenGen's inaugural sustainability report. This is not simply the unveiling of a document. It is the public expression of a promise, our promise to account for how we create value, protect our environment, and serve our communities with the same seriousness we bring to every megawatt we generate. I always pride myself that wherever I go and some lights are on, more than 60% of the energy, Dr. Engineer Ngeno, is from KenGen. This report covers the 2024-2025 financial year, and it presents for the first time in our history a comprehensive and transparent view of KenGen's approach to sustainable business. Our performance, our impact, and our progress we are making to integrate sustainability in the very fabric of how we operate. For over 70 years, in fact now it should be 72 years, KenGen has powered Kenya's growth. From our earliest days as an electricity generation company, we have grown into East Africa's leading renewable energy producer and a trusted partner in the continent's clean energy transition. And if you read our story, you hear that we have been to Ethiopia, we have been to Djibouti, we have been to Tanzania, we have been to Eswatini, and we are actually working with other countries in Africa to help them to harness their geothermal potential. Much has changed over those 7 decades, but one principle has remained constant: our commitment to creating lasting value for current and future generations. Generation to generation, that is not just a phrase. It is our philosophy, our obligation, and our North Star. It reflects our belief that energy we generate today must contribute to a future that is cleaner, more resilient, more inclusive, and more prosperous. This sustainability report is the most direct expression of that belief we have ever put on paper. The world is undergoing a profound energy transformation. Climate change, shifting stakeholder expectations, rapid technological advancement, and the surgical global demand for clean energy are reshaping the energy landscape at a pace and scale none of us can afford to ignore. These changes bring real challenges, but for organizations that embrace sustainability as a core business principle, not a peripheral program, they also create extraordinary opportunities. At KenGen, sustainability is not a standalone initiative. It is a strategic imperative that shapes how we invest, manage risk, engage communities, protect the environment, and deliver long-term value to our shareholders and to this country. Our approach is anchored in strong governance and aligned with national and international frameworks, including Kenya's own development priorities, the Sustainable Development Goals, the UN Global Compact, and the Global Reporting Initiative standards. These are not boxes we tick. They are commitments we honor through action. I'm excited to report that KenGen continues to lead from the front. Today, more than 90% of our installed capacity comes from renewable sources, including geothermal, hydro, and wind, making us one of the largest producers of renewable energy on the African continent. We fully support Kenya's transition to 100% renewable energy by the year 2030, and we are committed to the global target of net zero emissions by the year 2050. These are not aspirations we hold at arm's length. They are targets we are actively building towards with every investment decision, every operational improvement, and every partnership we forge. But our story is not only told in gigawatts and generation figures. We have planted over 4 million trees in support of ecosystem restoration and climate resilience over our time of existence. Through our community development initiatives, we continue to expand access to education, livelihoods, health care, and social services in the communities that we host our operations, communities without whose trust and goodwill none of what we do is possible. These are not charity projects. They are investments in shared prosperity. When the communities around our plants thrive, KenGen is stronger for it. As we look to the future, our ambitions are bold and they are specific. By the year 2034, we aspire to become Africa's leading provider of renewable energy solutions. To achieve this vision, we have set an ambitious yet achievable targets, including adding 5,500 megawatts of new renewable and clean energy generation capacity, with geothermal powering remaining at the heart of our growth strategy. KenGen has also been designated as the owner-operator of Kenya's first nuclear power plant, which will add a further 2,000 megawatts to the national grid. And this is part of the 5,500. And we are very glad that we are part of that journey. In addition, we will deploy 500 megawatt hours of energy storage systems to enhance grid stability and reliability, while operationalizing the Green Energy Park in Olkaria to accelerate green industrialization, attract sustainable investments, and unlock new economic opportunities for Kenya and the region. We are scaling our environment conservation efforts to reach 9 million trees by the year 2034, and we are exploring innovative financing mechanisms that can sustain this level of growth responsibly. But I want to be clear about what all of this is ultimately for. These ambitions are not about megawatts, our projects or infrastructure in the abstract. They are about people. They are about creating jobs, enabling industries, strengthening communities, protecting ecosystems, and building a future where economic prosperity and environmental responsibility are not trade-offs, but they are partners. As we mark this milestone, I wish to express sincere appreciation to our board of directors for their strategic guidance and unwavering commitment to sustainable governance. To our employees, the men and women who show up every day and make KenGen's mission real, thank you. You are the engine behind everything in this report. And I wish that you give yourselves a clap. To our shareholders, regulators, investors, development partners, and host communities, your support challenges us to be better. That challenge is a gift, and we do not take it lightly. This sustainability report, the first of many, reflects our collective efforts and our shared commitment to building something that lasts. The launch of this report is not the end of a journey. It is the beginning of a deeper, more visible, and more accountable one. It reaffirms our promise to operate responsibly, create shared value, and remain answerable to the people and communities we serve. That accountability is not a burden we carry reluctantly. It is a responsibility we embrace with conviction. I invite every one of you, shareholders, partners, regulators, communities, and media, to engage with this report. Hold us to what we have committed. Ask us the hard questions. Come back next year and measure us against what we have said today. That is how trust is built, and that is how KenGen intends to operate. Together, let us power Kenya sustainably and for generations to come. And maybe before I close, let me say that when we came here in the morning, we started a discussion, and we were thinking about the late Professor Wangari Maathai. And the PS, our chief guest, we wanted to make a humble request that part of this very beautiful environment, the Karura, can it bear Professor Wangari Maathai's name? So that generations that will come will remember that wonderful lady. I thank you, and I invite you to engage us. Asanteni sana. God bless you all.
Thank you. A round of applause for Bonasio again. Thank you for those very cogent, well-articulated remarks. We really do appreciate. It will be hubris of me to repeat them, but also I want just to invite you to head over now and pledge your allegiance, right, to sustainability that where we are headed to, all of us in this room, and where our finger also, as we raise it, is going to the true north, right? It's all about the people, it's all about the planet, and it's all about the profit at the end of the day. And we want to thank you, Bonasio, because you say we are, everyone here, contributing is the engine behind this sustainability. But within the engine, you are the cog that is moving this engine. And without your vision, without your direction, without your leadership, we'll not be here this morning with this sustainability report as well. And so we want to profoundly and with all humility thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, engineer does not just have KenGen in his head. He has KenGen in his heart. Mpigieni makofi tena. Thank you so much. It is also my great pleasure and honor right now to extend a hearty welcome to William Rahedi, who will give remarks. And of course, I want you to put your hands together. He's a KenGen board member as he comes to the podium, also to just give us his perspective as well. Mpigeni makofi kubwa. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Do we need the mic? Now, my position here is made much easier because Dibal, then Elizabeth, then Kibet, then Judy, then Peter have talked about the things I was asked to speak on. So for me, it's just to reaffirm that we are going forward with these things and that as the board, we are committed to doing this. In the book of Genesis, Moses is a Levite. The writer of that book says, these things are for you and for your children. Take care of them. And here we are gathered, not looking back to what has happened, but looking forward to making sure there's a tomorrow. And in the last 30 years, Dan Warwick said, sometimes we hang on too much to what is past and we leave tomorrow to get lost. So here we are meeting to make sure that tomorrow happens. Distinguished guests, senior government officials, CEOs present, development partners and investors, regulators, fellow board directors, present and absent, ladies and gentlemen, staff of KenGen, our environmental team, good afternoon, and thank you for being here. A milestone 70 years in the making. When KenGen was designated to generate 70 years ago, it was never anticipated that we'd have an occasion like this. So it's my privilege to stand before you today at what I consider one of the most significant government milestones in KenGen's 70-year history. The launch of this inaugural sustainability report is not a ceremonial act. It is a formal and public declaration that KenGen now holds itself accountable for its environmental, social, and governance performance with exactly the same discipline and rigor it applies to in its financials. If I may say, in the financials, it's always stated, if you read the financials, that the company is a going concern. And it's because they're reflected on how you have invested, the returns you're making, and that you can continue into the years to come. Otherwise, there is usually a warning. So basically, when we say this, is that we are working in an environment that you are going to sustain what we are doing in the years to come. So those of you who have invested in KenGen and have stakes in KenGen, take note that you can continue to invest in KenGen because it's sustainable. It's going to continue in that direction. So why does sustainability matter? As a board, we understand deeply that ESG performance is not a side agenda or a feel-good exercise. It is, at its core, a financial and strategic matter. Climate resilience, responsible resource stewardship, community trust, and ethical conduct each carry direct implications for KenGen, cost of capital, our regulatory standing, and our long-term value reposition for this nation. KenGen does this. I was recently involved in an exercise where there was a lot of pressure for us to get on staff some very, very qualified, but also very unqualified persons into KenGen. It did not stand the test, and the management turned it down. It was difficult to deal with it, but that is it. You need to have that people in place who can sustain the operations of KenGen. And that's the commitment that we are making here today, that we shall not get into situations that distract KenGen from its mandate and its commitment to deliver for the Kenyan people. So when we get this right, we are not just being good corporate citizens, we are protecting and growing the enterprise. KenGen has a turnover, a handsome turnover, but as in finance, if we compare the asset turnover of KenGen, it's not a happy one. We wish to make that grow. So when you come back next year, as you have been invited there by Peter, our MD, ask us about our turnover in the financials and also our contribution to the environment. Building the architecture, what we put in place to sustain this. During the year under review, the board anchored a deliberate and structured effort to build KenGen's sustainability governance from the ground up. Let me share what that looked like in practice. We oversaw the development of the company's very first sustainability strategy, covering the period 2025 to 2030, as well as the first standalone sustainability policy. These are not documents that sit in the drawer. They are living frameworks that guide decision-making at every level. 15 ESG champions were appointed from across departments. This has been mentioned. We have interacted with a number of them. They are fired up to do the work. That was intentional. We wanted accountability embodied at the operational level, not confined to the boardrooms. That's why you have a sustainability manager in Elizabeth and the people she has across the company to make this happen. And it's fully supported by the board. We institutionalized quality ESG reporting to the board, meaning sustainability performance now receives the same scrutiny and credence as our financial reporting. Our governance structures were aligned with the Nairobi Securities Exchange, ESG disclosure guidelines, and this report has been prepared in reference to the Global Reporting Initiative's 2021 standards. Basically, we're not creating the standards. We're taking the best that comes from the world to set for KenGen and what it can apply. And we hope that as a country, we shall all be having the same reference point from those standards. The principle of double materiality guided the selection of our 10 material topics, reflecting both the financial impact of sustainability issues on the company and the impact of our operational on society and environment. That two-way lens is essential. We need to get a feedback from the people out there who don't know how KenGen operates so that they can identify with it, and we need the people inside KenGen to buy into doing things right for the future of KenGen and its people. The numbers speak. What we delivered in 2025. The results of this structured approach are already visible, and they are verifiable. A lot of these statistics have been given by Elizabeth and the speakers before me, who I stand on. KenGen dispatched 95% of its electricity from renewable sources, maintaining a carbon emission intensity of just 0.06089 tons of carbon per megawatt hour, a figure that positions us among the cleanest large-scale generators on the continent. I don't have a figure for the global rate of that, but this is a reflection that we as Kenyans should take pride in being a lead in something on the continent, and we should maintain that leadership. And you have also had the energy of KenGen's corporate strategy to continue to expand the geothermal reach for our fellow neighbors so that they're all able to get to this target. We should take pride that we have a farm and management and a willingness to step forward to do something for the continent. We suppressed our forestation target by 7%, growing 882,720 trees, seedlings, and restoring 850 hectares of degraded land. 42,300 households gained access to reliable water, and that is reliable clean water. Kenya shillings 10,000.01 billion in procurement value was channeled to local suppliers, keeping economy benefit close to the communities that host our operations. 237 students received scholarships supporting investments for the next generation of Kenya's workforce. Our governance. KenGen achieved a perfect score in public accountability. Full marks in both compliance resolutions and access to information. Notwithstanding, many of you may not know, but it's a requirement that we report back to our main shareholder on how we're doing in relation to what they have invested in KenGen as the government. And we regularly have those reports discussed and worked on every quarter and submit those. So this report may be the first public launch of our sustainability report, but there are yardsticks that have been set in place by government that keep on checking on how well KenGen is doing, comparative to other enterprises that the government is involved in. On governance, KenGen achieved a perfect score, I tell you that, on that score. Then these are not projections. These are measured, verified outcomes, and they matter. The figures and items that Elizabeth shared with us, any of you can go and verify. In fact, I would encourage you to look at them and then come back and tell us you either misled us or you understated them, or that you could have enhanced the reporting by telling us about this other aspect of it. We want to deliver what we promise here. The road ahead, ambition grounded in accountability. Looking ahead, the board is clear-eyed about the scale of what is required and about the opportunity that scale represents. The KenGen G2G, is it good to great or great to good? 2034, that is the strategy. Sets ambitions, but grounded targets which we know are achievable. Grounded in targets that are achievable. Beyond energy infrastructure, KenGen has committed to growing 9 million trees by 2034. A contribution that aligns directly with Kenya's national environmental goals and reflects the kind of long horizon thinking that defines a truly responsible corporate actor. The board will continue embodying sustainability metrics within performance management frameworks, advancing the company's pursuit of recognized international standards, and holding management firmly to account against every target disclosed in this report. Hence, our request that you check on us. If you keep checking, sometimes a small fire can be put out. If you don't, sometimes it grows bigger and you destroy everything. Financing ambitions of the scale required credibility. And credibility is not declared. It is built through consistent, transparent reporting over time. This inaugural report is the foundation on which that credibility will be constructed year after year. A word of appreciation and an invitation. I extend my sincere appreciation to the company's leadership, our dedicated sustainability champions, and every member of staff who contributed to bring this report to life. The effort behind these pages is considerable and deserves recognition. Thank you, KenGen staff. Most importantly, I wish to appreciate our shareholders, development partners, and host communities for the support you have given us over the years. We invite you to read this report and hold us to account. I repeat the words of our CEO, hold us to account on this report and the way forward. Ask us the questions that accountability is precisely what this document is designed to enable. Transparency without accountability is just paperwork. We intend to make this mean something. And with those few remarks, friends of KenGen, I thank you for attending this occasion and ask that God's blessings rest on you as you depart from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A good round of applause for Mr. Rahedi. Mpigeni makofi tena. Yes. Thank you so much. And he's reminded us that ESG is not a side agenda. It is smack dab in the middle of a strategy of a company. And we learned that also in coming up with this report, it is in tandem with the ESG disclosure guidelines, right? And we know that even every listed company is demanded of them by the CMA that we have the integrated reporting, which is a regulatory principle right now for every company. But it's not just about the PPP that we're talking, it's not about the profit itself, also the planet, the people, and the profit. And it's good that he also teased out a verse from the Bible, that you're going back to the beginning in Genesis. And you know what? This is in line with also what God demands of us, because he gave us this earth. And he said, keep it and tend it. And this is in line with keeping. When we are sustaining the environment, it is in line with the keeping. And so we want to thank you so much for that. And he said, keep checking on us, right? Transparency, transparency, transparency. Keep checking on us and help us put out the little fires. Put out the little fires. So along the way, it is a community effort. And they always say, when there is something wrong in the forest, there is something wrong in the society. And when we look to the deforestation, dilapidation of it, then there is something wrong in the society. They've promised by 2030, 900 million trees. So we'll keep on checking on them to see if we are getting traction on that particular front. A round of applause again for him. Thank you so much. And on that particular note, also, I'll be remiss if also I don't unveil to you the EXCO committee, right? The people also who are really pushing the envelope. I'll just want to invite them to stand up, the EXCO committee, and just wave to the crowd. Yes? Hawa ndio wale. Thank you so much also for being amazingly patient. Ladies and gentlemen, now we want to welcome the National Treasury to give their remarks as well. And I want to also extend a hearty welcome to Michael Kagika to come and take this opportunity to broaden our understanding. Where is the nexus? How are we working together, right? As I said, it takes a whole orchestra to play a symphony. You cannot whistle a symphony. Mpigeni makofi anapokuja.
PS State Department for Energy, Mr. Alex Washira, PS State Department of Environment and Climate Change, Dr. Ngeno, the chairperson and members of the KenGen Board of Directors, MD and Chief Executive, Engineer Peter Njenga, distinguished government officials, development partners, members of the investment community, representatives from the media, and our guests. Good afternoon. So very well. So I'm here sent by the PSs in the Treasury. That is Dr. Chris Kipto and Sereo Odende, to represent them at your function because you had extended invitation to them. But it so happens that we've had quite a number of events that had been pre-programmed and required their direct attendance. So it was therefore shared out. And indeed, earlier on, I was representing my cabinet secretary at a function that has got so much similarity in what we're doing here today, because this was at the event where the Kenya Development Corporation, a GOE like KenGen, was signaling a new product that they'll be launching to the market in the coming days, as well as meeting their stakeholders. And in that spirit, therefore, I do bring you warm greetings from the fraternity of the National Treasury, more particularly from the two PSs whom you had extended invitation and who, therefore, are with you as you celebrate and mark this milestone where you are launching KenGen inaugural sustainability report. In itself, a landmark achievement for the company, but not just to the company. It is definitely for the entire of our economy. So this publication represents not just a reporting requirement, and you know, the MD did really emphasize this, that it is a public declaration of KenGen's commitment to responsible leadership, transparency, accountability, and sustainable value creation. It demonstrates that the company understands that success in today's world is measured not only by financial performance, but also by the positive impact an organization creates for society, the environment, and for the future generations. As government, then, we continue to encourage state corporations to embrace global best practices in governance, sustainability, and corporate reporting. So today's launch of your report is clear evidence that KenGen is not merely keeping pace with international standards, but is helping to set them. And I'm sure this then, you know, rings and resonates well with the transformations that government has been taking, and led by the National Treasury, the enactment of the Government-Owned Enterprises Act of 2025 did provide a modern governance framework that you know, strengthens what has been mentioned here: transparency, accountability, professionalism, and performance across government-owned enterprises. So it's refreshing to hear you know, the board member talk of ensuring that we have the right skill fit, even in management, to deliver for KenGen. It is very encouraging, you know, when Engineer Jenga tells that beyond the megawatts they are looking at, they are concerned with how many jobs have been created, how many enterprises have been expanded, how many, you know, what are the numbers that we can say our exports have risen, how many farmers have we supported, how many industries have been established, and this again because KenGen does have a very direct influence on these parameters. And therefore, the emphasis is no longer merely on compliance, and it is good that the board, you know, really places this as a core recognition that the emphasis now is on performance, and you know, is beyond performance, and that boards therefore are expected to provide strategic leadership. The management itself is expected to deliver measurable results, and institutions are expected to create both commercial and public value. Sustainability, therefore, can no longer be a peripheral corporate responsibility initiative, but a strategic business imperative across the world. Investors, financiers, customers, and regulators increasingly evaluate organizations through the lens of environmental, social, and governance performance. Institutions that effectively manage ESG risks are more resilient, they attract greater investment, strengthen stakeholder confidence, and are better positioned for long-term growth. KenGen's sustainability report, therefore, does provide stakeholders with a comprehensive account of how the company creates lasting values while responsibly managing its economic, environmental, and social impacts. And indeed, your daring way of telling everybody loud and clear to hold you to account of what you have committed is in itself a remarkable thing. So you have sent powerful message that commercial success and sustainable development are not competing priorities, rather they are mutually reinforcing. The government of Kenya does remain firmly committed to strengthening governance accountability through the National Treasury and the State Department for Public Investment and Asset Management. We shall continue to champion strong corporate governance, responsible stewardship of public investments, greater transparency and disclosure, like you are doing through this reporting, financial sustainability, operational efficiency, and long-term value creation for the people of our great republic. Reports such as the one that is being launched today advance these national objectives by enhancing public trust, improving corporate accountability, and providing investors and development partners with credible information that extends beyond traditional financial reporting. KenGen, as amongst some few GOEs, is one of the organizations that for sure has a lot to depend on public trust and corporate accountability. And therefore, this is precisely the direction in which you have indicated that as a modern public institution, you are moving. KenGen remains one of Kenya's most valuable strategic national assets. For decades, the company has powered our homes, industries, business, and public institutions. It has made, therefore, indispensable contributions to our socioeconomic transformation. But more importantly, KenGen has positioned our country among the global leaders in renewable energy through sustained investments in geothermal, hydroelectric, wind, and other clean energy technologies. We do appreciate and recognize and applaud the State Department for Energy, the KenGen, for these efforts it has made in putting us where we are in terms of renewable energy. These investments have strengthened our energy security, reduced dependence on fossil fuels, and enhanced our competitiveness as a country in increasingly green global economy. Yet KenGen's contributions extends beyond electricity generation. The company continues to create, which is very significant, employment, empower local enterprise, and the development that we have said it brings besides conserving biodiversity and supporting our continued industrialization. KenGen's sustainability journey is firmly aligned with Kenya's broader development aspirations. The company's initiatives directly support the bottom-up economic transformation agenda that is being pursued by government, our Vision 2030, the National Climate Change Commitments, and the African Union Agenda for 2063, not to mention the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. As a government, we shall continue to support KenGen, and we do also commend KenGen for embedding these national and global priorities into its corporate strategy and the day-to-day business and its operations. As custodians of public investments, the National Treasury recognizes that sustainable organizational success depends upon balancing financial performance with the stewardship that we have mentioned in social responsibility and sound governance. So looking ahead, the competitiveness of our state corporations will increasingly be determined by their ability to respond to climate-related risks, promote efficient and responsible resource utilization, drive innovation, and continue to build resilient institutions. Preparing a sustainability report of the caliber that we have been introduced to by KenGen requires vision, discipline, collaboration, and an unwavering commitment to transparency. It also reflects the organizational culture that you have set as KenGen, and that you are willing to celebrate achievements while candidly acknowledging opportunities for continuous improvement. We do, therefore, as a National Treasury, sincerely congratulate the Board of Directors, management, and the staff for this remarkable achievement. As I conclude, I do encourage KenGen to continue deepening its sustainability journey by strengthening innovation, enhancing stakeholder engagement, and continually raising the bar in corporate reporting. And this should be emulated by other state corporations who should draw their inspiration from this milestone so that they also embrace sustainability reporting as an integral component of good governance. As many of you are aware, the government has also established the National Infrastructure Fund, which is a strategic vehicle for mobilizing long-term capital to finance transformational infrastructure that will underpin Kenya's future economic growth. And the fund represents major steps that we are taking in strengthening our capacity to leverage domestic resources, attract institutional and private investment, and finance commercially viable infrastructure in a sustainable manner. The establishment of the NIF reflects the government's recognition that modern, reliable, and resilient infrastructure is indispensable for economic competitiveness. So we do need to have adequate energy supply, and these are some of the areas that NIF is focusing on, and also to ensure that we have efficient transport networks, our water infrastructure, digital connectivity, and logistics, which are foundations upon which productive enterprises flourish. We therefore once again, on behalf of the National Treasury, want to congratulate KenGen on this milestone and wish you well in your future endeavors. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Michael Gariga. Please don't go away. We want also to give you an opportunity to append your signature as you pledge to sustainability as well. And thank you for the remarks. Indeed, government and industry share a common responsibility to create an enabling environment where development is inclusive, resilient, and sustainable. And so without their support, without the enabling environment, then of course we can get some tripping wires along the way when we're trying also to make sure that we realize the successful launching of a sustainable reporting. So we thank you for those remarks, and we look forward to greater partnership also from the ministry. Ladies and gentlemen, because of time, allow me now to also welcome the State Department for Energy, and I want to extend a hearty welcome to Engineer Isaac Kiva, who is the Secretary General, Renewable Energy, to come to the podium and also give us a perspective from the ministry as he's standing in for Engineer Alex Washira. A round of applause for Mr. Kiva. Thank you so much.
Our chief guest, the Principal Secretary for Environment and Climate Change, Dr. Engineer Festus Ngeno, the chairperson and board of KenGen, the managing director and CEO of KenGen, Engineer Peter Jenga, my friend, Judy Gino, the executive director of the Global Compact Network, development partners, senior public and private sector officials, KenGen staff, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. So that's mine. I'm going to say one now for the PS, because I'm now representing him. And the PS likes a hearty response. He can make you repeat 2 or 3 times. And since I'm almost the last, and I will not keep you long. So let's try, because I'm going to tell him your message was received very well. So let's start from the beginning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Very good. So today marks an important milestone for Kenya's energy sector and our journey towards sustainable development. And the PS would have wished to be here, but due to exigencies of duty, he was called to do other urgent matters, and that's why he sent me to represent him. And he wanted to say that it is an honor for him to join you, and also for myself, in celebrating this achievement and what it signifies for our nation's future. The ministry reaffirms its commitment to support institutions that are driving Kenya's clean energy transition. And the launch of this inaugural report happening here today at Karura Forest bears significant importance. It is a clear demonstration that energy security, environmental stewardship, and economic transformation are priorities that go hand in hand. The world is undergoing one of the most significant energy transitions in history, Across every continent, countries are rethinking how they produce, distribute, and consume energy. The conversation today has shifted from merely generating more electricity to now the world talking about strengthening energy security, accelerating the transition to cleaner energy, attracting investment, creating jobs, and ensuring that economic growth is sustainable and inclusive. For countries that embrace this transition, the opportunities are immense. For those that delay, the cost will be equally significant, and we have chosen to be in the former category. Today, Kenya stands among Africa's leading renewable energy economies. This achievement is a result of deliberate government policy, sustained public investment, and strong institutions that have consistently delivered on their mandate. The government recognizes that reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy is one of the greatest enablers of economic transformation, and that is why energy sector occupies a central role in the better bottom-up economic transformation agenda by enabling industrialization, value addition, digital transformation, and job creation. None of this can be achieved without a reliable and sustainable energy system. Therefore, to realize this transformation, the Ministry of Energy is focused on expanding electricity access, strengthening transmission and distribution infrastructure, promoting renewable energy, supporting clean cooking solutions, improving energy efficiency, and creating an enabling environment for investment across the entire value chain. These deliberate interventions are intended to make Kenya more competitive, industrialized, and a prosperous nation. Ladies and gentlemen, this cannot be achieved without institutions like KenGen that translate national aspirations into tangible results. For more than 7 decades, KenGen has powered Kenya's growth and development. The company has played a central role in harnessing our geothermal, hydro, and wind resources to provide the clean and reliable energy that drives our economy. Beyond electricity generation, KenGen has distinguished itself as an institution that understands sustainability in the broadest sense, and we have heard that since morning. Its investments continue to demonstrate responsible management of natural resources, community development, innovation, and environmental conservation. That's why today's sustainability report launch is a key milestone. It demonstrates KenGen's focus not only on measuring the electricity generated, but also on the impact on the environment, communities, and the Kenyan economy. This is indeed the standard that modern institutions must aspire to attain. I therefore commend KenGen for taking this important step as Kenya positions itself as Africa's preferred destination for green investment. Reports such as the one we launched today become increasingly important. They strengthen investor confidence, reinforce our national reputation, and showcase the maturity of our institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, chief guest, as I conclude, may I take this opportunity to congratulate the board, management, and staff of the KenGen on this historic achievement. I strongly believe that this inaugural sustainability report will inspire greater innovation, stronger partnerships, and renewed commitment in the energy sector to ensure that we exploit our energy resources sustainably. Thank you very much.
Yes, yeah, you're not waiting for instructions. Thank you so much. A round of applause for him again. Thank you. Even as you opened your signature, we want to thank you also for those remarks and the partnership that we have as well with the ministry, very key. We are always looking forward to making sure that, yes, that environment is being created. And just as we alluded to that particular fact, we'll be keeping our eyes peeled and keeping out our ears as well to hear what other supportive engagements are being proffered from the ministry. Thank you so very much. A round of applause for him again. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a moment. And I'd actually, of course, indicated that we have all the index fingers here, isn't it? Right? So I want just to make a good utilization of it. Right? Where is it again? Now, can you turn to your neighbor and just poke their ribs a bit and tell them, get alive? Poke. Come on, poke their ribs. Hey, yeah, get alive. Get alive. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, out of deference, I will kindly request you to be upstanding so that it may give me also a handy opportunity and welcome to the podium now our keynote address by the PS State Department for Environment and Climate Change. And of course, that will be followed after by the official unveiling of the report. A good, warm, in a very systematized way. Okay, let me not waste time. Just a good, warm welcome to Dr. Engineer Festus Ngeno. Thank you so much, sir. Good to see you. Pleasure. You may assume your seats.
Thank you. Allow me to recognize the PS colleague in charge of energy, represented by Engineer Kifa, the rep of the PSS of Treasury and Economic Planning represented here, CEO and Managing Director KenGen, my friend Peter Njenga, the board of KenGen, Chudi Njino, and the Executive Director, Global Impact Network, Kenya, the various of us who are here. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I know I'm between you and lunch, but it is you guys who have decided us to stay until this time. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, on the onset to recognize a few guys who are here. Peter, you know, I got the invite, and of course I was on call with my good friend P.S. Washira. And when I say my good friend, is my good friend. You know, there are people who just say you are my good friend, but Washira is one of my best friends. And I had told him I'm not coming to this event if he is not coming. But knowing what he is doing, as Engineer Kiva mentioned, we were coming together, but I had to agree to him to handle other matters. But again, I discovered that I have become part and parcel of KenGen by extension of Washira. You know, you and I have unfinished business, including your GM. And apparently, one of your staff also, we go to church together somewhere. We are in one safari group. A guy called Emmanuel, where is he? In fact, he's the one who was telling me I don't miss this event. Apparently, also, you have one of your staff, Domitila. You know, he was my engineer where we work together somewhere some days. And of course, Engineer Kiva, we are in this story of negotiations together. So, you know, I'm part and parcel of KenGen, basically, or energy sector. And therefore, I'm happy to be part and parcel of you. Allow me also to recognize two of my staff, and I call them staff. One is the Environment Secretary, Dr. Kimosov. And of course, our ambassador of the 15 billion tree growing Hillary. You know, that guy planted almost 24,000 trees in 1 hour. So we are waiting for the Guinness to verify your data, and we'll go and celebrate with you. Thank you so much, Hillary, for that. Allow me also to make a few remarks before I read the speech. Now, on the ESG champions, the 15 of them, my team have said that we, together with the National Environment Management Authority, you know, the sustainability reports that you guys are launching, or various state departments, at the end of the day, it is the responsibility of the National Environment Management Authority to provide the state of environment report for Kenya. And this forms part of it. So he has agreed that he will award certificates. So the CEO work with the DG NEMA together with the Environment Secretary and get those certificates to your ESG champions, the 15 of them. And I am happy that it is internal staff. You didn't use a consultant. Two is to indicate that you did mention about Professor Wangari Maathai. We honor her. We work together with the daughter, of course, Wanjira Maathai, in various other aspects. And I've been informed by the State Department of Forestry that there is a garden within the Karura forest that is named after her. So your issues are taken well care of, as you indicate. And of course, as you indicated earlier, the Kenya Forest Service are the one who are running with the Friends of Karura this particular setting. And congratulations for launching this event here. It really brings out what you are doing in terms of sustainability. Allow me also to indicate that on the IPCC sectors, there are follow sector, which of course it is my responsibility as a PS responsible for State Department of Environment and Climate Change, but especially on the climate change matters. That energy sector is the only sector that is green. And congratulations, because of the hydro, of course, transport is red, agriculture is red, forestry is red, solid waste or waste management. So, but in our NDC, National Determinant Contribution Submission, we look at it as an economic-wide process, and therefore, while you are green and all the other sectors are negative, so for those who went to school, when you say 1 or -5 plus 1 equals to -4, so we are negative in terms of our processes within the sector, and therefore we ask the other sectors to pull up their socks. In fact, the most pollutant or the sector that is leading is agriculture, and that's why they're working on their smart programs, followed by transport, but energy is the only green sector within the IPCC sector. And we truly appreciate. So when you talk about 100% by 2030 or 93% green energy right now, then you guys are doing very well. On the 15 billion tree growing, which of course the ambassador is here, you are doing very well. But allow me to challenge you, CEO and the team of KenGen. You know, I know you are supporting the MFCI program, the MAU program that I am championing as KenGen. But you remember you have an hydro, Sondumiriu, which its source is MAU, isn't it? So I challenge you to extend the portfolio and kindly go and conserve. You know, that's a presidential directive, that as we do the 15 billion, everyone handles the ecosystem. So I challenge KenGen. I know you have adopted part of it. So I'm looking forward that you are going to expand the portfolio that you've supported the program on. And we are so happy that you have agreed to do so. And we are going to allocate you more of the, we are supposed to do 40,000 hectares. So calculate in the meantime how many hectares that you are going to adopt from, leave alone these 900 million you want to do across the country. There is where your water comes from. Yeah, go deal with it from there. Thank you so much for that, and thank you for agreeing to that. Allow me to, ladies and gentlemen, then to say that it is my pleasure to join you here today as we mark this significant milestone in Kenya's sustainability journey through the launch of the KenGen's inaugural sustainability report. And indeed, congratulations. I have been to various launches, and I know quite a number are coming up. And when I saw this was inaugural, then I said I must be here because this is the first one, isn't it? So I'm wondering what you've been doing the rest of your other timings. Because I think, but it is not too late. It is good that you have started this journey, and it is good that you have written it on your own. You know, if it had been done by a consultant, you wouldn't know where it's coming from. But congratulations. This is a declaration that sustainability has become a central to how institutions create value, manage risk, and contribute to national development. And therefore, I want to congratulate the KenGen board, the management, and staff for taking this bold step by embedding sustainability into its business strategy and publicly reporting on its environmental, social, and governance performance. KenGen is demonstrating leadership that extends well beyond the energy sector. It is befitting that we gather here today at Karura Forest. Karura is a national symbol of environmental restoration, resilience, and responsible stewardship. It reminds us that when government, communities, civil society, private sector work together, we can restore ecosystems while creating lasting value for the society. Ladies and gentlemen, the world is at a defining moment. Climate change, biodiversity loss, land degradation, water scarcity, and pollution continue to challenge economies and threaten livelihoods across the globe. Yet these challenges present an opportunity to rethink how we grow our economies, manage our natural resources, and build resilience for future generations. And through our national climate change action plans, our national determinant contribution, our NDCs, under the Paris Agreement, our ambitious landscape restoration program, and our commitment to increasing our tree cover from 12.8% to 30% by 2032, Kenya continues to demonstrate that climate action and economic development can advance together. Our vision is very clear: to build a climate-resilient, low-carbon economy that creates jobs, attracts investments, protects biodiversity, and improves the quality of life for all Kenyans. Achieving this vision requires government policies and commitment, and also calls for partnerships with institutions that embrace sustainability as a strategic imperative rather than a compliance obligation. And today's launch, therefore, is a powerful example of that partnership in action. For more than 7 decades, KenGen has been at the heart of Kenya's energy story. By harnessing our abundant geothermal, hydro, and wind resources, the company has helped position Kenya as among the world's leaders in renewable energy generation while strengthening our nation's energy security and supporting economic growth. And we look forward to your commissioning of your new power plant so that you become the 6th in the world. We look forward to that. Every megawatt, ladies and gentlemen, of renewable energy generated by KenGen lowers our carbon emissions. This further translates to a cleaner air, greener energy independence, and a major boost in our investor confidence. Above all, it means a healthier and more sustainable future for our people. But sustainability goes beyond energy we produce. It is reflected in how we protect our biodiversity, conserve water resources, restore degraded landscapes, engage communities, promote employee well-being, and uphold the highest standards of governance. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, encourage that this sustainability report captures KenGen's broader contribution to environmental stewardship, social impact, and responsible corporate leadership. And these are the qualities that define a truly sustainable enterprise. Ladies and gentlemen, across the world, investment is increasingly flowing towards organizations that can demonstrate strong environmental stewardship, sound governance, and measurable social impact. And therefore, sustainability has become a competitive advantage. Financial institutions increasingly assess climate-related risks before making investment decisions. And therefore, consumers are choosing organizations that demonstrate environmental sustainability. And this means that sustainability reporting is becoming an essential element of good governance and sound business management. It enables organizations to understand their impacts, manage emerging risks, build stakeholder confidence, and demonstrate accountability. I encourage more public institutions and private sector organizations to embrace sustainability reporting, not simply because it is expected, but because it strengthens resilience, competitiveness, and long-term success. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya's ambition to become Africa's green industrial hub will depend on 3 critical pillars: reliable renewable energy, sustainable infrastructure, and responsible management of our natural resources. And KenGen is uniquely positioned to support this transformation. Initiatives such as the Green Energy Park in Olkaria demonstrate how renewable energy can power a new generation of green industries, including green manufacturing, green hydrogen, sustainable agriculture, electric mobility, and other low-carbon investments that will create jobs and drive inclusive economic growth. As government, we remain committed to creating an enabling environment that supports innovation, climate resilience, green finance, circular economy principles, and sustainable investment. And together, we are laying the foundation for an economy that grows while safeguarding the environment for our future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, sustainability is a continuous journey of innovation, accountability, and collective responsibility. The choices we make today will determine the quality of life enjoyed by our future generations. Years from now, the Gen Zs or the Gen Alphas will not ask us whether we spoke about sustainability. They will ask whether we acted when it mattered most. They will hold us accountable, and you know them. Today, KenGen has demonstrated that action. I congratulate the Board of Management and the staff of KenGen for this achievement and encourage them to continue setting the standard of responsible corporate leadership. May this inaugural sustainability report inspire many more organizations to embed sustainability in their strategies, their operations, and their culture. And together, let us build a Kenya where economic progress is measured by what we preserve and the natural heritage we protect. On behalf of the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry, I reaffirm our commitment to working closely with KenGen and all stakeholders in Kenya's climate and sustainability agenda. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I congratulate KenGen on this historic milestone and wish the company continued success as it powers Kenya's journey towards a greener, more resilient, and more prosperous future. God bless you, God bless Kenya, and I thank you. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Bwana PS. We really do appreciate a round of applause for him again. And we want also to give you an opportunity to append your signature.
I will append across the board because there is no space.
There's ample of space, I can see. Unless your signature is very flamboyant, that it can grow beyond. Thank you so much. A round of applause for Bwana PS. Mpigeni makofi mzuri tafadhali. I know it is lunchtime, as he said, he's standing between you and lunch. I tell you. Thank you, Bwana PS. This is the moment right now, ladies and gentlemen. Bwana PS, don't go and sit down because you want to utilize your energy right now, right? From this moment moving forward. And this is where we want to unveil the report. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Right? This is a moment that we want to unveil the report. And I will want to call back all our speakers who have been here. But PS, if you may go on that particular end, right? And let me call back also as well the board member, Mr. Rahedi, to come back, right? Also, we can have the MD, the CEO, Engineer Peter Njenga, on that particular side. Isaac Kiva, kindly also join us as well. Come, yes, on that particular side. Right, Elizabeth, kindly. Judy, if you may join us over here, right? We want to unveil the report itself. Judy, I want us to just separate 4 of you there and 4 of you here. Judy, Elizabeth, also we can have as well on this particular side, Kagika as well, and Kibet. Come. Yeah. Judy, if you may move on this side. All right, we want also to invite the EXCO to come. So we can actually pair up so that we don't block. Yeah. 2 of you of this other side? Yes, so that we, yes.
Can you space them up? They are on the men there.
Uh-huh. A balancing act. So we want to make it good also for the camera. All right. Okay, the lectern? Sure. Thank you. So Judy, if you may just scoot over a bit so that we don't block the video wall. There we are. All right, so this is a video launch, and we want to, of course, begin any moment from now. The pyros will go off. Let's celebrate and, of course, immortalize this moment. This is the first one. This is the inaugural. This is it. And ladies and gentlemen, if also you may pick up your phone, right, and capture this moment and share it on your social media, that will be good, right? So make sure also your phones are up, everybody is engaged. This is the moment that we've been waiting for, right? Are you ready? Are you ready? No, I can't hear you. Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, the maiden, inaugural sustainability report by KenGen 2026. Roll it now. Powering a sustainable future, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. A round of applause. This is the maiden, the inaugural sustainability report. 9 million trees by 2034. I think I misled you with the 900 or so ambition, 900 million. But you've seen it right now. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate. And you also be getting a copy, of course, of this to make sure you have that Kodak moment that is immortalized. Just also to make sure all our media houses, they've captured this moment when they will be reporting it as well. We want to thank you so much, right? I will ask also the EXCO, they may take their seats. We want to gift also our, as you remain, we'll call upon the EXCO for the photo session, but now for the gifting of our speakers who've taken this time, they've worked together with us. Thank you, EXCO, we really do appreciate you, right? On that particular end, first of all, we'll want to appreciate you, our PS and our keynote speaker this afternoon, PS Festus Ngeno, And I will kindly ask that you come to the front, and I'll call upon our MD and CEO, Engineer Peter Njenga, to come and hand over a small token of appreciation and the gesture that you've shown us today, adding to the gaiety of the occasion. Right, flash your white as you smile, right, for the cameras. Also, this is the inaugural picture, of course, of a sustainability report tokens that we're giving to our guests. Next, I want to just give this handy opportunity to board member William Rahedi, and you'll present this on behalf of the PS Alex Washira. Right, we have Bwana Kiva, Isaac Kiva here. Right, mpigeni makofi tafadhali. Move forward. Flash your white, smile, hold your smile for the cameras. Thank you so much. Next, we'll have General Manager Commercial Services, Kibet Rono. Kibet Rono will take this opportunity to present a gift to Mr. Michael Kagika, right, on behalf of the National Treasury. Mpigeni makofi tafadhali. Right, Kibet, don't be in a tearing rush. We want also to just give you another opportunity to present a gift to the family as we stood in honor of the late Joshua Were, where we have this germinal idea of a sustainability report. They're here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll want to just appreciate the family of Joshua Were. Opigeni makofi. The man behind the drive. We honor him posthumously. Thank you so much. Opigeni makofi tafadhali. Thank you so much. All right, I want now also to just give an opportunity to Elizabeth to present a gift to Judy Ngino, the Executive Director, Global Impact Network. Thank you so much. Move forward. Smile for the cameras. Judy, flash your white a bit. Smile. We see. Thank you. Now we want to move on to our photo session. And this particular first photo moment, we want to invite, of course, all from, we had, so Isaac is there. I think you'll move to the center a bit. Alex Oshira being represented there by Mr. Akiva Festus. Again, of course, is there, our PS and the managing director there. All right, we have Judy. Would you kindly also join us on this? All right. Right, you can spangle yourself, you know, Judy, in between the men. Please. Yeah, flower this particular photo. All right, smiles, smiles, smiles. All right, media, are we good? All right, we will want now also to invite the KenGen board members to join. All of you. Oh. All right. Okay. So we'll want now to board leaves. Right. We remain with the PS there, the MD, as an invite Exco to come to the podium. All right, now we have the last one, dominating rush, right? So yes, we have the board leaving. We have also Exco leaving. Now we want KenGen Sustainability Development Division joining. Where are you? Sustainability Development Division joining. Wow, this is a huge team. All right, so we'll stand guided by the, all right, we need to spread ourselves. So let's layer up. Some of them can be, right, you can actually come down, just step down some of you, so that we don't widen the aperture and miss out some of you. Yes, some of you can, the taller ones can be behind. Yes, we welcome the COPS. Yep. You can huddle together. All right, this is it. So this is all right, a round of applause to them. Okay, oh, don't be in a tearing rush. Yeah, this is the last one. This is, we need back there, right? We also want to welcome Judy and Gino on this. Where is that? We want you to now to hold the book itself. We just saw the soft copy. We want the report itself to be given to you, so that also we immortalize this moment. This is it. All right. So you can be thumbing through the pages. Yeah? Having a very... yeah. Okay. I'm being guided. First of all, just hold it to the camera. Make sure it's not upside down. Yeah? It is upright. We're good? Okay. So I will want now MD, Judy Gino, and PS to remain. So the same gesture. You know, this is acting. Right? You need to act. Act for the camera. Hey, Judy, kindly. You need to be enmeshed between the men. Right, there you are. Yes. Yeah, you're seriously going through it. All right, we good? All right, so I can see some Kalasha Awards nominee happening here as they're acting for the camera. Yeah. Don't go yet. Don't get tired. This is how you appreciate the movies, the way they're being made. Right? Every shot, it's meticulous, repetitive. All right. Don't go yet. We want to call upon the sustainability champions back on stage. This is the last one. This is the last one. All right, where are you? Tafadhali, let's do it to make it snappy so that we can, yes, the champions. You cannot afford to miss this. This is the last one. Wapigieni makofi wanapokuja. These are the people who will make the realization of the 9 million trees. Yes, in 2034. All right, media, can you guide us as well? If you, yes. We want to capture this moment. No one is left behind. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We really do appreciate. Wapigieni makofi as they assume their seats. Thank you. Thank you for being amazingly patient. Coming to the tail end of the program right now as we assume our seats. I would like to call upon at this particular time also to bless your food. She will be standing by. This is Beatrice Kandie. Even as she comes, we want to thank you so very much that this is just the beginning. As we've heard from the speeches today, it is a journey. And we will be keeping tabs, keeping our eyes peeled, and keeping out our ears to listen in if we are really tracking with that particular vision of making sure that we are planting 9 million trees by 2030. So before we have Beatrice Kandie, who is the General Manager Corporate Services, praying for us. Just be standing by, don't go back, right? We'll want all of us to stand together in ceremony, of course, as we sing the national anthem. So kindly, we will have just the national anthem. And then Beatrice will pray for the food. Or should we first pray for the food, then the national? I think it should be the other way so that we'll wrap it up. So you can bless our water and bless our bread. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All protocols observed. Even before we pray, we recognize that this is not compliance. This is obedience to a command that was given by God to take care of our environment. The Lord gave us that charge, and we have come here in obedience to the same, and we want to ask him to help us so that we may be able to do that which he told us to do. Shall we honor God and pray? Our Father and our God, in the name of Jesus Christ, we want to thank you for your presence today. We asked you to be with us from the beginning, and Lord, we've come back full of gratitude because of what you have done for us. Lord, we recognize that this is a command that you gave us to take care of that which you created. And as KenGen, Lord, and all the state departments that are here, we have committed ourselves on behalf of the people of Kenya to take care of this resource that you give us. Lord, we also recognize that our electricity generation is from green energy, from sources that you alone gave us, from hydro to geothermal to wind. These are your resources, dear Lord. And we pray that you may continue to sustain the same for us, because without you, we will not have these resources. And so, Lord, we come in obedience to your command, and we commit and commend ourselves into your hands, dear Father. As we have committed ourselves through the respective signatures that have been appended today, we ask you, dear Lord, that you may give us the ability to be able to honor that commitment for the people of this country and for the world at large. And thank you, Lord, for each and every person that has been here to participate in this inaugural launch. And we pray, Lord, that you may continue to sustain the partnership that we've started for the glory and honor of your name. And the food that we are going to receive, we pray that you may bless it and sanctify it. For this is our prayer, trusting and believing in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Beatrice, for the prayers. And now, as we stand in ceremony and sing the national anthem, I will kindly request also our guest to be on stage together with all the speakers that we had as we observe the national anthem. Judy, right? Every person that was on the podium as we sing, the chair, kindly. Welcome back to the stage as we observe the national anthem. And even as we close, just to remind you that we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We've borrowed it from our children. And just as Beatrice, she's prayed for us and reminded us, all of us, it is imperative that we obey the command. Keep it and tend it. That is what God desires of us. Keep it and tend it. The national anthem.
O God of all creation, blessed is the Lord nation. Justice be our shield and defender. May we dwell in unity, peace and liberty. Plenty be found within our borders.
Thank you very much. I think the meeting now is over, and thank you for you being amazingly patient. Right, in the meantime, there is a press briefing. Of course, the media houses are here. And kindly be reminded that all of you, you have an opportunity to append your signature on that board. Kindly, don't leave without appending your signature on this very important occasion. So make sure you take an opportunity to do that. You're blessed. And thank you. And by way of introduction, my name is Dibala Nair. I'm a broadcast journalist. And thank you for being amazingly patient with me as well. Good day ahead.